2 weeks ago, I had 15 minutes to prep for a coaching call. My client sent me pages of confusing information about her business, and I was feeling super scattered, so I tried something different. I decided to dump everything into AI and have a 15-minute conversation about it. By the time I got on that call, I had complete clarity on her problems, a strategic framework for her blog, and about 30 questions I could ask her during the call. She said it was exactly what she needed. If you're a coach or consultant who wants to 5x their effectiveness and show up way more prepared for clients without spending hours on prep, let me show you exactly how I did this. Okay, so here we are in ChatGPT. And as you can see, I opened up with, I have a coaching call in 15 minutes and I need some help learning about my client. Not a great job with time management by me, but what I did was I actually copy pasted this particular client's answers into ChatGPT directly. Now, one thing that I do with my coaching business, and probably one thing you might do as well, is I kind of have this questionnaire that people fill out where they talk to me about their problems with their newsletter, what they want to accomplish, what their purpose is, what they write about. So I can just get a quick kind of idea on who they are, what they write about, what they want to do, and what problems they struggle with as bloggers. I think I have like 9 or so questions. And what I did was I literally just copied all of this, right? And I went ahead into ChatGPT and I pasted everything that they told me. So I have, what is the purpose of your newsletter? Who do you speak to? What do you want to talk about in our call? What are your 3 biggest problems? What are your biggest goals on Substack? So it was weird because it was hard for me to really understand what this person needed from me before our call. Sometimes I can freak myself out in coaching calls and be like, okay, Tom, you need to deliver the world. You need to give them all the answers. And running these answers through AI to get a second opinion on them was really helpful for me to develop confidence as I walked into our call the other day. So let me show you what exactly ChatGPT said to me about this particular client. So it gave me a quick client snapshot of who she is. It walked me through her specific problems. So she needed some help with setting up her Substack. She needed some help with her messaging clarity, and she needed some help with her overall strategy moving forward. So I wrote these down in my journal. I knew we had to talk about these couple things, and this just really got me clear on what we needed to talk about in this call. After this part, though, I still felt a little unclear on who she was and who she was writing to. I just wanted a little bit more information. So I actually looked her up on Google, and I found her website, and I found her about page. But what I did was I literally just pasted her entire bio, and this just has, everything that she's been through, everything that she's done, and it gives me a whole lot more context into who she is as a person. And what I did was I actually said, here's her about page on her website, not sure if it's relevant, and then I just copied it into ChatGPT, and it said, this is highly relevant and gives you a ton of rich material to work with in your coaching call. Here's how I'd weave this into your approach. Now, I wanted more insight on Angie because as bloggers, we've typically the same stuff that we tend to really value comes up again and again in our writing in ways that we might not even understand. She wanted clarity on her messaging and what she wanted to write about. And to do that effectively, I really wanted to go back and take a look at everything she's done in her life as a consultant and coach to see if there were any themes that kept kind of coming up over and over again that we could implement into her Substack organically. So based on everything that we've imported into ChatGPT, it gave me a bunch of different ideas for where we should take the call as well. So clarify her identity and positioning. Right now, her Substack doesn't yet reflect what her website and background clearly show. Angie is a seasoned soulful wilderness guide for high-performing but burnt-out humans. That wasn't reflected in her Substack yet. So that was a really great recommendation. Framing her newsletter, giving her newsletter a new name. Also creating an ecosystem for her offers, so like 3 tiers. You go from free newsletter to book plug to her retreats that she does. So from her about page, I got to understand that she loves to do nature retreats, and that's a big part of her business. So the next question I asked ChatGPT was, can you give me some highlights from her about page? Because there's a lot of information here, as you can see. So I wanted to get a lot of information on her very quickly, and So basically, it just gave me a bunch of different bullet points about who she is. So we got her core identity and philosophy, her ideal client and audience, a little bit of her origin story, and the client transformation promise and proof of credibility. Now you might say, Tom, she could have just done this by herself with AI. And my answer to that is yes, she could have. 100%. That's my message for you guys today. If you're a coach, and if you have a coach in your business that you talk to about business strategy or whatever, odds are you can probably just talk to AI about it. And if you give it enough context and give it enough information, it'll be able to tell you probably 95% of what your coach would have told you. So she wanted a couple names for her publication. So I asked ChatGPT, what are some possible names based on everything that you know about her? And it gave a bunch of really good names here. And I took these names, I wrote down a couple of them that I really liked. I took them into our call and I asked her about them, and she really loved a couple of these. I think it gave me about 30 names here. 35. So it's amazing. When I'm using AI this way, I am the curator. I can see what it gives me and I can decide what I'm going to use in the call. I mean, it arrives at a bunch of the same conclusions that I typically would have arrived at anyway. So I'm just saving myself a bunch of calories burned trying to figure all of this out myself. I mean, honestly, to come into a call with this level of preparation, it would have taken me at least an hour or two to do this. And now with AI, I can do it in literally like 10, 15 minutes. It's kind of insane. And it's helping me deliver like 3 to 5x the value of what this specific person paid for our call, which now I can up my rates and I can charge more money because of that. So one of my favorite things that I did was I asked, what questions can I ask her to help her get clear on her messaging? So it came up with about 15 questions in 3 different areas for me to ask her during the call. And I asked her like a bunch of these questions, and it helped me get so much clarity talking to her one-to-one. Like, I love this one here. If your newsletter could only teach one truth to the world, what would it be? But I asked Angie these questions. I could tell she was really thinking about the answers when she was on our call, and she gave me gold. She gave me a gold mine, and I recorded our conversation and transcribed it. So then I actually asked AI, I said, help me feel better about the call. I always put so much pressure on myself, and it helped me just ground myself before this coaching call. I do put a lot of pressure on myself. I feel like if I don't give someone the most amazing answers right now to all of their burning questions, I'm a bad coach. And that's not the case. It helped me kind of just level myself and balance myself before the call so that I come in present rather than nervous and anxious. It just helped me understand that I'm here as a coach and as a consultant for a reason. I know what I'm talking about. So here's one of the coolest parts. I recorded our conversation, I transcribed it with otter.ai, and then I basically just fed it back into AI and I said, can you read through this transcript, summarize the important parts, and kind of give her a step-by-step process for setting up her Substack publication, just in case, because I walked her through step-by-step how to do that, just in case she forgot. Talk about the pillars that we kind of honed in on and anything else you think that she needs to know. And it gave me a comprehensive summary of my coaching call with Angie. Honestly, this would have taken me like hours of time before to do all of this. And now with AI, I can just get it to do it for me. This is just grunt administration work. And it basically just like read everything. Like, it read the transcript of the call. It knew exactly what I was talking about. And it basically just gave her in written form the tutorial of everything that I said during the call on how to set up her Substack. And then we talked about her 4 content pillars. And so we took this conversation in a direction way past what I initially talked to ChatGPT about. So we talked about notes from nature, retreat and client transformations, personal stories of her adventures in nature, and then just life wisdom and coaching insights that she typically gives. So those were her 4 pillars that we kind of really got clear on. And I asked her a little bit about like, what has worked for you in the past? What type of blog posts have you loved to write? And we really kind of honed in on these 4 right here. At one point in the call, I asked her something like, what are your biggest messages that you try to impart to people? And she literally spent like 2 minutes just rattling off these types of things. Culture lies to you. Busy is a bullshit word. Nature is sentient. It sees you too. We've forgotten that we are nature. People first, technology second. She just spent like a couple minutes rattling off all of these because she's so knowledgeable about this. She's incredible. And so I used AI to kind of summarize all of them. I mean, if I had to go back and rewatch the hour-long call with her and just kind of like, write all of these down manually, it would have taken hours, but now we have all this information here. Again, saving so much time, giving her the written version of everything we talked about on our call so that she can just quickly reference it whenever she wants to. These are high quality resources that she can come to over and over again as she builds out her Substack. And to be able to do this for her and create this for her in minutes with AI saves me time as a coach, makes me way more effective, helps her out way more than normal, and dramatically increases the value of working with me. And as you can see from this conversation, I was just guiding AI along the way to learn more and more about Angie. I mean, this is what I would have done by myself. So look at me down here in the bottom right. If you're going to use AI as a thinking partner to help you amplify your coaching effectiveness, what you need to do is think about what your process typically is when you have clients, when you get on a call with them, or even when you're just kind of helping them via email or via writing. If a reader talks to you and they need an answer to something, you can actually just like take a look at their profile or take a look at their website if they have one, import that into AI, import their question into AI, import any context you have about them into AI, and ask AI whatever you need to ask it to get the outputs that you need to help that particular person. Okay. So I just wanted to share that video with you and let you know this is what you could do as a coach. If you work with AI, you can amplify yourself significantly and be like 10x more effective with your coaching clients while also doing things in like 1/10 of the time. All right. So that's kind of revolutionary for coaches out there. And I wanted to just touch on that a little bit today. So if you're a coach or if you're a consultant and you're not using AI to help with your coaching clients, you need to start doing that right now. Thanks guys so much for watching. What was the biggest thing you learned from today's video? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want more AI tips like this one, subscribe to my Substack publication, Scale Yourself with AI. The link is in the description. And if you want more videos, consider subscribing to this channel too. It won't hurt. All right, y'all. See you in the next video.